Alright, so here we have New Year Maeda Keiji versus Ultra 1, or officially known as Alt Guardian of the Demon Gate, located under Alt Illusory World of Carnage. So there's a couple things I want to go over. I want to go over Maeda Keiji, Takoyaki Awakenings, and I want to go over why I'm running Ultra 1 instead of Shura 2. First things first, we got Maeda Keiji, so we're going to go a little bit backwards. I like to go Awakenings, active, and then leader skill, but this time we're going to go leader, active, awakenings. As a lead, Maeda Keiji is basically rainbow. Technically he's rainbow, but if you look at how I built the team, it doesn't really look rainbow, it looks more monocolor. Now that's because Maeda Keiji, his activation clause is match 3 or more colors, right? And when I say 3 or more colors, that includes heals too. So basically, if you match half the colors on the board, you are perfectly fine. Like, let's say you match heals, darks, water. As long as the attribute is present and attacking, then it will trigger the activation clause of Maeda Keiji. Thus, you will be able to match the 3 or more colors activation clause. So back to the example, heal dark water, that would work to activate the leader skill. And the effects are you get a 50% shield. So this compensates for the lack of health or recovery multipliers, because now you have a massive shield that you can just duck under. That prevents you from dying, of course. There's a benefits to shield in that you are less vulnerable to gravities. Because the shield reduces the amount of damage you're taking, it ends up nullifying the magnitude of the gravity. Now, he also gives you 2 extra combos per leader when matching 3 or more colors. So because I have 2 Maeda Keiji, it's going to be 4 extra combos. 4 extra combos is quite a lot, because in my experience, all you need to do is once you fulfill that color clause, you just need to match 6 combos and you're at 10 combos, which is a ridiculously high combo count. Remember, they increase your damage too, right? So it's an indirect damage buff as well, along with enabling you to get over certain combo shields that may be difficult. His attack multiplier is just a straight 20x attack when you match 8 or more combos, but this isn't really difficult because again, he gives you 4 extra combos when you match 3 or more colors, which is not very difficult at all on any given board. Moving on to his active. His active skill, it gives you a shield, 30% shield for 2 turns, and it also gives you 3 fire, 3 light, 3 heal. What's great about it is the active is on a 6-turn cooldown, meaning you can system the shield. Remember, the shield lasts for 2 turns and it's on a 6-turn cooldown. So if you have 3 New Year Maeda Keiji, like I do here, you can indefinitely maintain the shield barring skill delays. And of course, because I don't want the skills to get delayed, I use SDR latents, or skill delay resist latents, in order to protect my Keijis from ever getting delayed. Why is the shield so nice? Because it further increases your effective health and recovery. It makes you even tankier than before. Another reason why I really like it is because it's not just limited to Keiji as a lead. You'll see what I mean, spoilers in a future video. The system is not just limited to him as a lead, although in this case I'm leading him because his leader skill is also cool. It's also due to the fact that because it's active based, you can use it on any team as long as you dedicate those 3 sub-slots. And because you also get orb generation on top, it's actually quite nice as a system. Of course, it would be better if you had consistent orb generation every single turn, but he's just a 7-star orb skin in a season also. Moving on to New Year Maeda's Awakening, he has unbindable but no SBR. So that's important because in Ultra 1, there is a potential skill delay, so you need to supplement that SBR in some way else. He has 2 skill boosts, and then he has an L, a guard break, 777C, and an awakening, the new awakening that I like to call Takoyaki. If you've ever eaten a dish, a plate of takoyaki, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Basically, it's like flour balls with seafood in them, and you cover them with sauce and parsley and like other things, and it just tastes absolutely amazing. I actually don't know what goes in them. All I can tell you is you taste them once, you'll never forget it. Because the awakening looks so much like that, the nickname Takoyaki really just sticks out. Now, there are other nicknames that I do like. One of them is like, well, I don't like this one, but people call it grapes because, you know, it looks like a bunch of grapes together. Some other people call it Ace Awakening, where Ace is an acronym for Additional Combo Enhance. That's really apt, to be honest, because the awakening itself is called Enhanced Light Combos, and it works as if you match additional combos of the same color, then it enhances the damage, so additional combo enhance or Ace Awakening is a very apt acronym. I'm just gonna call it Takoyaki or Taco. Whatever makes more sense to you, just call it whatever you want. By the way, New Year Maeda Keiji has a Super Awakening selection of 2 skill boosts, right? The skill boost plus another Takoyaki or an L. So in this team, I have all Takoyaki because I don't need the skill boost really. So I just have it all on Takoyaki. The Awakening is new, and I do want to get into it a little. It's similar to Ro Enhance. It's similar in that Takoyaki provide enhanced team-wide damage. If we're gonna dig into the math, basically the way it works is like your damage is compounded and multiplied with a bunch of different factors depending on this and that awakening or this and that leader skill. And the way it works is when you're multiplying your damage, the multiplier is calculated by first you have 1, right? So if you don't match any, you don't have any of the awakening, then it's just a nice 1 and it's ignored. Just know that every additional combo is 15% more damage. It's not exactly 50% because every time you match an additional combo, that combo also deals damage. So the general gist of it is it compounds very quickly and it is very, very potent. Like surprisingly and impressively potent. I love it. It just deals so much damage and it's such an incredible way to stack damage. And not only that, but I love it because it doesn't nuke your combo count like Rows do. Some pitfalls of Rows are, 1, you're nuking your combo count to match a row, right? You gotta reduce the number of combos you have to match that row. Another thing about Row is it doesn't stack as well as Takoyaki. The way Takoyaki works is it stacks not only based on the number of awakenings it has, but the number of extra combos that you start matching. Rows also works the same way, but it's exponentially more difficult to match additional rows than additional combos. In my opinion, Takoyaki are just really great for those reasons. And that's why rows are, I mean, they're great for farming, and don't get me wrong, they're still great awakening, especially after the buff, they're even better than before, but they do have their weaknesses. I don't want people thinking, wow, it's the best team-wide awakening ever. So back to Takoyaki, 15% per extra combo and then multiplied by the number of awakenings as well. So as you can tell, it just stacks really, really, really quickly. And because it stacks so quickly, if you match like 4 light combos, you're gonna be dealing massive amounts of damage. You match 5, you match 6, you're hitting into the damage cap depending on the lead. And that's why I am running a monocolored kind of style team, right? If you look at the team that I'm running, it's very light focused. And even Kisaragi, the light dark sub, he has a light skyfall boosting active because if I get more and more light orbs, I can deal more and more damage. And so that's why even though Maeda Keiji is technically rainbow, I run him as a monocolor team to take advantage of this absolutely busted team-wide damage awakening known as Takoyaki. The editor can put a picture up or something. Now on to Alt Shura 1. And the reason why I am running it versus Shura 2 is Shura 2 is the latest endgame dungeon. It is the pinnacle of technical content. If you clear it, you can say that you are on top. You have beaten some of the hardest content in the game. In fact, I think it is just the hardest content in the game. And the reason why I'm running Alt Shura 1 is because Shura 2, because it is so difficult, it's also incredibly restrictive for team building. 1, you need at least like 400,000 health to survive anything in there, and this team just can't reach that health threshold. So I'm kind of screwed in that sense. Another thing about it is there are just so many mechanics to deal with as well that it just places a great strain on not only your leader skill but your active skills and your awakenings as well. That's why most of the Shura 2 clears are just Seina with a couple of Mikages and 1 or 2 Ryumei, right? It's because it's restricted. Like there's such a high bar to clear, and that's why only few leaders can even think of clearing the dungeon, and much less consistently. Of course, Seina and other leads will clear it much more consistently as well, but even then it's because they can clear it in the first place that makes it consistent. Maeda Keiji, I'll just tell you right now, he cannot clear Shura 2. Maybe he might, but like a 0.0001% chance, he's not going to be able to clear that dungeon. I'll just let you know right now. Based on my experience running it and my knowledge of that technical dungeon, it's just not doable. If I could, I would, and I promise, if I could run him in Shura 2, I would run him in Shura 2, because that would be even more exciting, but I can't. And so that's why I ran him in Alt Shura 1, because you know what, at the end of the day, this is my YouTube video, right? So I just run whatever I want to run, and you know what, I'm sharing it with you guys because I think it's exciting for a couple reasons. 1, as an orb skin, he's really great. Number 2, Takoyaki Awakenings are really busted, and I just wanted to show that off. A lot of the enemies in Ultra 1 have hundreds of millions of HP that you need to chip down and kill. Now, with Takoyaki and 7Cs, I'm able to deal quite a bit of damage. However, compared to Shura 2, Ultra 1 has very few mechanics. In fact, even the previous Endgame dungeon, Alt Incarnation Worlds, or AA4, had way more mechanics than Ultra 1. It's just that Ultra 1 just put a new wave of power creep on what enemy spawns, how tanky enemy spawns could be. And so that's why, because even though the damage requirements are pretty high, because of the lack of mechanics, you can start to get really creative with lesser, more obscure leaders, more obscure teams, more obscure concepts, because it's not as punishing. You can be creative. Of course, it still requires a degree of technical knowledge and skill, but besides those requirements, if you play your cards right, you can make things that you don't think could work. Well, with that said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and trust me, you'll be seeing this Maeda system in the future. Spoiler alert. See you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of the video.